Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into some of the most mind-blowing conspiracies and mysteries that have been solved recently. It's almost like the end of a thrilling book series, right? Like we've been on the edge of our seats for years, decades even, and finally the truth is coming out. I'm talking JFK, aliens, chemtrails, the whole shebang. We're going to be looking at newly declassified documents, whistleblower testimonies, and groundbreaking forensic evidence. It's going to be intense, you guys. So buckle up. If you're new here, first of all, hey, how you doing? Second, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you do not want to miss out on any of the crazy stuff we talk about on this channel. Let's get into it. Okay, so we all know the story, right? November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy is assassinated in Dallas, Texas. Lee Harvey Oswald is arrested, but then he's shot and killed by Jack Ruby before he can stand trial. It's like, what? The whole thing just seemed way too convenient, you know? And then there were all these weird details like the grassy knoll and the magic bullet theory. But for years, everything about the JFK assassination was just speculation and theories. But recently, a whole bunch of documents have been declassified, and let me tell you, they are juicy. We're talking about CIA files, FBI reports, and even some of JFK's personal letters, and some of the things they reveal are seriously shady. We're talking potential connections to the mob, secret government plots, and maybe even a second shooter. Okay guys, I've always been obsessed with aliens. Like the thought that we might not be alone in the universe just blows my mind. And for years, it felt like the government was hiding something from us, right? Like they knew way more about UFOs and extraterrestrial life than they were letting on. Well, guess what? They were. Recent government disclosures like the Pentagon UFO report have basically confirmed that UFOs are real. They're out there, people, and we've got pilots and military personnel coming forward with their own first-hand accounts of these crazy encounters. Plus, there have been all these leaked videos of UFOs doing things that our current technology just can't explain. I'm talking about objects moving at impossible speeds, defying gravity, the whole 9 yards. This is not a drill, people. Okay, this is where things start to get really creepy. You know, those white trails that you sometimes see in the sky behind airplanes? Yeah, those aren't just regular contrails anymore. I know some people think it's crazy, but hear me out. We're talking about actual scientists and pilots who are risking their careers to speak out about what they've seen. They're saying these planes are spraying chemicals, heavy metals, and who knows what else into the atmosphere, and the craziest part, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. There are patents for this stuff, government documents outlining the programs. It's all there if you know where to look. And it gets even scarier, because it's not just the stuff in the sky we need to worry about. Remember when everyone thought the government putting mind-controlled drugs in our water was just a crazy conspiracy theory? Well, what if I told you it wasn't that far off? Recent investigations, and I'm talking about real investigative journalism here, not just some random stuff I found online, have uncovered evidence of governments using pesticides, herbicides, and other chemicals on their own citizens. They say it's for public health reasons, you know, to control disease or whatever, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Okay, true crime fans, this one's for you. Jack the Ripper, the notorious serial killer who terrorized London in 1888, has been a mystery for over a century. I mean, this guy was like the OG serial killer, right? He was brutal, he was elusive, and he was never caught. But finally, thanks to some seriously impressive forensic work, we might actually know who this monster was. They took DNA samples from one of the crime scenes, and guess what? They got a match. It turns out Jack the Ripper would... Well, I don't want to spoil it for you. Let's just say it was someone who had been a suspect all along, but there was never enough evidence to convict him, until now. Okay, this one is dark, even for me. The death of Jeffrey Epstein, the billionaire financier who was accused of sex trafficking underage girls, is one of the most suspicious things I've ever seen. I mean, come on, the guy was found dead in his jail cell, supposedly by suicide, but the circumstances surrounding his death just don't add up. And the more we learn, the more it seems like Epstein was connected to some seriously powerful people. We're talking politicians, celebrities, royalty, you name it. And a lot of these people were involved in some really messed up stuff. It makes you wonder, was Epstein silenced to protect these people? And if so, who ordered the hit? Chapter 7, MLK, the truth about his assassination. The assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. is one of the most tragic events in American history. And for years, people have speculated that there was more to the story than we were being told. Well, recently, declassified documents are shedding new light on MLK's assassination, and they suggest that James Earl Ray might not have acted alone. Some of these documents point to a larger conspiracy, possibly involving the FBI or even the CIA. It's heartbreaking to think that the government might have been involved in the death of one of the greatest civil rights leaders of all time, but the evidence is there. Chapter 8. They don't want you to see this censorship exposed. We live in a scary time, you guys. A time when the government and big tech companies are constantly trying to control what we see and hear. I mean, think about it. How many times have you posted something online only to have it flagged or removed for no apparent reason? Well, it's not a coincidence. Recent leaks, and we're talking about whistleblowers from inside these companies, have revealed the shocking truth about how much information is being suppressed. They're censoring anyone who dares to question the official narrative, no matter how credible their sources are. Chapter 9. The media is bought and paid for. Okay, this one's a big one. We all know that the media isn't always truthful, right? But what if I told you that it's even worse than you think? That the news we consume on a daily basis is carefully curated to manipulate our thoughts and opinions. Recent evidence has revealed that many media outlets are being paid off by corporations and governments to push certain agendas. We're talking about everything from biased reporting to outright propaganda. It's terrifying to think that the news we rely on to stay informed is actually being used to control us. Chapter 10. Government money. Where it really goes. Ever wonder where your tax dollars are actually going? Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's probably not where you want them to be. We like to think that the government is using our money for good, for things like education, healthcare, and infrastructure. But recent audits and investigations have shown that a shocking amount of government money is being wasted, mismanaged, or just straight up stolen. We're talking about billions, maybe even trillions of dollars that have vanished into thin air. And you want to know the worst part? The people responsible are rarely held accountable. Outro, stay woke, stay curious. And there you have it, folks. These are just some of the mind-blowing conspiracies and mysteries that have been solved recently. It's a lot to take in, but it's fascinating to see how the truth is finally coming to light. It's like all those late-night internet deep dives, all those documentaries we've watched, they're finally paying off. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, you guys. There are still so many unanswered questions, so many secrets waiting to be uncovered. It can be overwhelming, scary even, to think about all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world. But we can't just ignore it. We have to keep asking questions, keep digging for the truth, because the more we know, the better equipped we are to fight back against the forces that are trying to control us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the world's biggest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious.